Welcome to another episode of the Laura the Library Lady podcast, a production of the Massillon Public Library.
Hi, it's Laura the Library Lady here at the Massillon Public Library in our studio high atop the library building in downtown Massillon, Ohio. And with me today, I have Michelle and Mark Kemp from Tremont Coffee. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for having us, Laura.
Yeah, so we were just talking about how your business has been in Massillon for 7 years. Mm-hmm. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got started? On to you, Michelle.
On to me.
Yeah.
What got us into coffee? Mark being tired of me sitting in coffee shops all day and spending his money. That's what got us into coffee.
Well, that makes sense.
Me being dead tired.
Yeah. Tired of love of coffee.
Yeah. I tell this story all the time that I did not drink coffee, hardly at all until my mid-20s. My first experience with coffee was a cold mug of coffee that my grandmother had. And I took a chug thinking it was my chocolate milk.
Oh.
I mean, when I was really little. It was absolutely disgusting. So I just shied away from coffee my whole adult life until we had our daughter. And I was working midnights trying to stay awake and started drinking vending machine coffee.
Yuck.
Awesome. the French creamer kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's how we had an introduction to coffee. Over the years, grew a love and honestly a passion for sharing coffee together. Most people that know me personally know that I'm a workaholic. I've always had 2 jobs, multiple things going on at the same time. And the one thing that would get Michelle and I to actually have some time together was to sit down and have coffee together. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So a French press or something like that. We've always had like a coffee bar at our house.
Oh, neat.
So Sundays, if I had the time in the morning, we would have coffee together, and that turned into every vacation you go on. Where's the local coffee shop? The vacations kind of surrounded. How do you find the coffee to go to? That's what our vacations turned into. So that's the introduction for coffee for us for sure.
Mutual interest.
Yeah.
And tried to bring our child into loving it, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
She would do the hand grinder for us when she was little for our son, our morning ritual type thing. But
so how old is she? Is she mid-20s yet? Will she
She's
grow
19
into it?
now.
Oh, well,
so
she has a few years.
Just some time.
Yeah, she doesn't want to drink. Well, she'll drink milk and sugar with coffee splashed in it. That's
yes, I enjoy that as well. Maybe some chocolate.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we did too. I mean, we started out drinking all that stuff.
Mochas.
Half a cup of sugar and cream, and now we drink Americanos, which is basically just black coffee. That's our go-to for sure.
So you're located on Erie Street North, a couple blocks down from your original location, also on Erie Street North.
Yes. Yeah.
And so want to tell us about how you got into your current location?
Well, since this is primarily a Massillon program.
Right.
The interesting thing for me is I'm from Massillon. My family's from Massillon. Both of my grandparents, both sets, lived on Tremont Avenue, which is how the name Tremont came to be.
I see.
So when we first opened, Tremont Coffee on Erie Street was people were just they blew their mind. They're like,
what?
They're driving up and down Tremont. Where the hell's this coffee shop at?
We get phone calls.
Yeah, they'd show up and finally
you.
find us. Like, we've been looking for you for a week. I'm like, well, here's the story. This is why. So, my father grew up down by St. Timothy's, down here on this side of the viaduct, and there's a garage that's at that house that my dad, my uncles, like everybody worked on cars.
Oh, I know what house that is.
It's the old greenhouse there across
a nice
from the
little fence.
Yep.
Okay.
So I spent every weekend there as a child, riding my bike up and down that section I wore that sidewalk out. But that garage that's there, I grew up painting cars, body work. I had a Harley that I tore apart and rebuilt 5 or 6 times in that garage. So it's a huge part of my upbringing. So I wanted Tremont to be in that garage. Well, long story short, trying to change zoning and like all that stuff.
It's residential.
It was just easier to find a location after we started our pop-up and trailer company for about a year. Then we went into the location by Art Bomb Tattoo there on Erie.
Okay.
So it was something we could afford
Right.
to begin with. So
Right.
Yeah, it was smaller. Now
Yep,
you have a
yep.
huge place.
Yep.
And the building used to be
Remingler Oldsmobile
Cadillac.
and Cadillac.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
years ago, which I kind of remember. Yeah.
I knew that they owned the building, but I don't remember when it was there.
Yeah, that was built originally as Bernstein's Printing. The entire building was a printing
Oh.
shop. Yeah, and we have most of the original sign. We still have
Neat.
it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow. Is it for display? Is it out on display? You just
haven't
have
put-
it in the back?
Yeah, I mean it's rusted and it's it's fragile. It's an old metal sign, very very fragile. It's almost like paper now. It's so thin.
That's really interesting.
But their grandson was the dentist, the Bernstein's dentist that was
My
downtown.
daughter was his paper girl.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's how he had his dental office
Yep,
in
it was
the
his
corner.
I'm pretty
of
sure.
that
I don't know if
building.
it's his parents or grandparents that built that building, but which he's recently passed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, do you have a Massillon connection?
Mark,
Just your husband.
this guy.
To be honest,
I'm from the other side of the tracks.
yeah, we didn't tell anybody where Michelle was from
for
for
a
several
long
years.
time.
I bet I know.
I bet you know. it's my little dirty secret.
Yeah.
Well, we always tease our engineer, Jesse, here that he went to McKinley.
So did I.
That's rough.
Did.
That's
So,
rough.
you two have something in common.
We have something in common. I bet I graduated far before you, but we definitely have something in common.
It's okay to say it. Just admit it.
I went to McKinley.
We're all not perfect.
That's right.
Although I did graduate from Perry, I did not graduate from Massillon. All of my siblings have, though.
Well, okay, that's forgivable, I guess. I didn't graduate
I'm in
from
between.
Massillon either. I went to Central. So.
Oh, there you go. Now our daughter went to Central.
Okay.
So we've
Yeah.
got all around Stark County schools going on.
Yep.
So do you guys do your own roasting?
Yes, we are coffee roasters. Since I think we were in business maybe a couple months before we started roasting our own.
In your small shop?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have a super tiny coffee roaster. It sits in the back of the bathrooms where we're at now.
Uh-huh.
And we could only roast 5 pounds at a time, so it was super tiny.
I'm going to have to look next time I'm in there.
When you walk
It's
in that
way
little
back in
hallway
the
in the
corner.
back,
Yeah.
there's a little, looks like a weird black machine sitting back there. That's a coffee roaster. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now you have a giant coffee roaster.
Yeah.
Which never would fit in the building we were in
Oh, no,
previously.
no,
There's
yeah.
no way you'd even get that in there.
Yeah. I mean, we started out, I was roasting coffee on a stovetop too in a pan. Not to sell, but that's how I was doing that at home.
Neat.
Yeah. Listen, I say I have a passion for coffee. Like
I guess you
I'm
do.
a coffee nerd. Like I love everything about it. I think it's fascinating. And I was kind of fascinated by why. So we many years ago took a trip to Europe. We went to Rome. And at that time, I was still drinking a ton of cream and sugar in my coffee. And when we went to Rome, cappuccinos are everywhere. They were like 25 cents, 50 for little teeny cappuccinos. I was drinking them like water. But we were at this conference and they were serving coffee, and I was just putting just a little splash of cream in it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, why is this? And I couldn't make this connection on why some coffee was just better than others, why some was bitter, some wasn't, like all that stuff. So when I say coffee nerd, I mean that, like the molecular structure of coffee, regions of coffee, like all that stuff. I'm just fascinated by it. So
It is really interesting
Yeah.
when you get into it.
Yeah.
Science.
Science. Yeah.
Science.
It's weird. Yeah. As a kid, I hated it, but it's kind of cool now.
Oh, well, if you're talking about coffee science.
Yeah. Yeah. How
Something
can I
you
apply
like.
this stuff you're teaching me to what I want?
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
So who is your team and how do you work together?
We've got a very large team now.
Yeah, we do now. Yeah.
Each store has their own little setup. So we've got 3 locations right now. Massillon has, gosh, how many people? I have to think about this. We got a lot of people over there.
I mean, obviously, it starts with us. Michelle's kind of the operations manager. Day to day, how does the store operate? What do we make? Is it made correctly? Like all that stuff, Michelle handles. Point of sale trouble. Why can't we run this credit card through here? She has to figure out all that technology stuff. I'm the design, sales. Where's the next location going to be? Like I'm all the other parts of that. And then supporting us is an ever-growing cast of people. At this point, most of our management team have been with us for years. We have some, I say kids loosely, but people that were teenagers that have been with us since the beginning that are, some of our managers now, our regional
great.
managers. One of the first couple employees that we've hired, and Brian, who's up at our North Canton store running that store, has been with us since he was 15 on and off. So I mean, it's that kind of stuff. Most of our long-term employees are our family now. I mean, extended family. So
that's nice. That's great to hear.
We like running it that way.
Yeah.
So you have your Massillon store, Perry Township, and North Canton, right?
Yes. Yeah. And we're currently building out a location at Lake Cable.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And then we have another building slotted for this year also, which I won't tell anybody where it's at.
It's a secret location.
I assure you it exists. But until Lake Cable's a little bit closer, I won't even talk about it.
Well, you just did.
Well, yeah,
right.
I'll say yeah, it's there. I'm telling you, it's a real thing.
It exists. Okay. So what challenges have you faced in developing your business?
Besides working with your spouse?
That's a joy.
That's the best part. We have so much fun.
Well, so we started in 2016 in our basement. We've been together 20-some years. So we've been through a lot of stuff together, and a lot of businesses that we've started, stopped, and or failed at doing. So starting Tremont, I do tell this story also that it was the easiest business that we've ever built.
Wow.
And I don't mean that from a standpoint of not working hard. I mean that from it's been the easiest to do together, and everything has just fallen into place. Some of the learning lessons, the failures, the successes of the other businesses and things that we've done together were rolled into this.
Sure.
So I mean, I don't know of many people that started a business and the very first one they ever start's a raring, this huge success. I mean, that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So and that's true for us. So challenges. This is the first business that had anything to do with food and that sort of thing. So health department if I think I'm correct in saying I don't think you ever worked in food either, right?
No.
Fast food, like as a
I was
kid,
always retail or sales.
Yeah, you were your bank teller, like all that kind of stuff. And myself, I've always been in manufacturing of some sort since I was a kid, Hoover Company, and that sort of stuff. So it's a challenge understanding what's required of you to open a business like that, right? So
I'm sure.
Between vendor's license, sales taxes, like. There's this stuff that no one's really there in your pocket helping you along.
Right.
And everybody wants to start a business, especially now. I think younger generations, they see a lot of TikToks, and it's like, you should start a business. Look at us. We're out there grinding daily. We're doing our thing. And it's a little bit harder than that, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And I think the hardest part for me personally is not long hours and all that stuff, but it's what you have to give up to do those long hours. Mm-hmm. So
right.
we started Tremont together while I worked full time at the Marathon refinery here in Canton. Uh-huh. I've worked there now for 12, almost 13 years. So I've done that job alongside Tremont the entire time. For the last 4 years, I've been working 12-hour shifts at Marathon. So I work 12 hours, leave there, work another 4 or 5 for Tremont, or 4 or 5 before I go to Marathon, because I rotate shifts. I worked when I first started. I worked midnights, afternoons, and day shift. I worked all 3. Now we're on a 12-hour day or night. So tons of overtime there, which I'm extremely grateful for because it gave us the financial resources in order to start this company. So that's been the hard part, though, giving up. Still having enough dedication to start a business and run it. Through, I am so grateful to say a monumental success since day one. Mm-hmm. So we've been busy. But my daughter's, she said she just turned 19. So it's a lot of time away from her too. So it's been hard for sure.
Has she worked for you?
I think
there's been a little bit of an attempt. She finds it very hard. Staff they don't do well telling her what to do because they know that's the boss's daughter. So that's what it is. So no, she does not.
I feel like she worked one shift for me.
She liked life much better when we did this as a mobile business and we were in our trailer.
It was different.
She did those kind of things with us. But as soon as it got into a store and then more people were working for us, it got
that
a little
would be very difficult.
Yeah.
It was hard being boss's kid.
I'm extremely demanding. I'm not going to lie. Like it needs to be.
No, we are. Yeah.
I take it very serious. I mean, I know it's like, oh, you're making coffee, but the experience, the interaction with customers, the quality, the recipes, the look and feel. Like it has to be, from my standpoint, it has to be perfect. People can go anywhere and get coffee. I mean, there's a million places to buy coffee, so you better set yourself apart from those people. So when I say demanding, I mean, I just expect it to be right, and I will tell you when I don't think it's right. I don't think I'm a jerk about it, but it's hard. It's hard when it's your child, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how do you define success? I shouldn't ask you a question when you take a sip.
What's your definition of success? You tell me.
Oh, my definition is
as I stare at Michelle.
Tough one. I know that is a tough one because it's going to be different for everybody.
I think it changes.
It changes with almost every day of what we do. I think my successes are a daily thing. When I have too much homework and I go to bed at night, I don't feel so successful that day. So, it could be a little bit different. Feeling like I've completed my day and drank my really good coffee, and then I'm happy.
That's a success for you?
That's my success right now.
We're definitely different.
It's a day-to-day thing.
But that's why you need each other.
Yes. Oh, gosh, we are so different.
Yeah, we definitely balance each other out.
We are a huge balancing act, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Tremont would have made it without either one of us, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely took both of us to do this. But, I mean, success for me is always growing. Just knowing that it's constantly growing.
Yeah, I'm the ever building goals. I'm the goal person. That's big vision, dream. Like we do those vision boards and stuff that were kind of popular years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so one of those things was family business, and for us finding something that we both had something to share and talk about long after our daughter graduated, moved out of the house, and started her own life. I never wanted us to have like that quiet dinner when
where you don't know
you're
what
like
to
just
say.
staring at each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that happen to too many people. I didn't want that to be us. So I've always, I think, been driving this. What do we do together? What do we do together?
Right.
And all those other businesses in the past were things where I was like, honey, you're going to love this. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it too. And I'm this, that I think always, it's always sunny. It's, I'm that person, despite what's going on around me. And the successes, though, I guess, I don't want to sound sexist or anything, but being the man and doing that planning thing, like I want to try and set, long after I'm gone, I created something, for my family. I'm from here, so I'm a blue collar guy. I want to build something that's bigger than what I am, for this town too.
Well, that's really special, and you want to leave your mark. No pun intended, even though your name is Mark.
It's hard for me to start talking about that stuff. It gets me all choked up, to be honest. But I had a dream of starting this coffee company, and I guess to back up a little bit, when we first started Tremont, we avoided doing coffee companies for years. I think we've always loved coffee, but I know two people that started coffee businesses, and I never wanted to feel like I did what they did. Like I know two people personally that opened. We were at the opening of Carpe Diem in Canton, like her soft opening. I've known Kathy a couple of years before she ever opened that coffee shop. So I never wanted to feel like, or have her think that we're doing what she's doing, that kind of stuff, But it just got to the point, like, why the hell are we not doing what we both love to do? And that's really how we end up starting Tremont. It's a lot of long hours and a lot of stuff to get to the point we're at now, and a lot of, I hope and pray that this is going to work out for us, because we opened basically 2 stores during COVID. So how many people were building businesses during COVID? And you talk about challenges. I mean, we were selling coffee and we couldn't get coffee. We couldn't get coffee cups. You couldn't get straws. You couldn't get help. You couldn't get, but at the same time, we were selling more stuff than we ever sold ever, At that time, if you remember, everybody wanted to support local businesses, and all the Facebook groups, let's support these restaurants, let's do this stuff. And there was, a tremendous amount of help from the community, which helped all of us. But at the same time, you still had to have employees. Nobody wanted to go to work, and I understand why, but we were still running a thriving, successful business. And then after, started coming out of COVID a year or 2 years later, we were still struggling with getting the resources to actually sell the coffee, whether it be the coffee beans, cups, you name it. We couldn't.
It sounds like all kinds of supplies.
Anything you could think of, we had an issue. But for a while, it'd be a lid. You couldn't get a lid. And then, you'd have to switch cups because not all lids fit every cup. So I have a warehouse full of stuff that we no longer use because I was just buying anything I could get just to make sure I had it. It was like, remember how the toilet paper was for everybody?
Yeah.
That's how stuff has been for us with everything else. So it's been a crazy, like if we made it through that, I feel like we can do anything, honestly.
I love it.
Oh, can I say, I try to always talk about this too, because it's one of those pet peeves I have. So during COVID, a huge challenge for us was getting employees to come to work. Right, for their safety, for the fear of what the unknown was at that time. One of the things that we did was we decided to not take cash as payment, just to prevent the interaction, because we were trying to make every employee feel comfortable. These are all of the things that we're trying to do to make it safe for you to come to work and for a guest to come in, right?
Well, and also remember how hard it was to get into a bank to get change.
Well, oh God, yeah, you couldn't get
rough.
change. Yeah, I mean, there was just so many reasons that we did it, but we had a lot of customers give us a lot of hate because we got this is a legal tender. You can't tell us we can't not have to use credit cards. We don't want to do that. I mean, we got some damn near death threats over not taking cash, which is why I'm bringing
emails.
it up. Yeah, we got a lot of hate over it, and I still see some every now and then. So, and one of the reasons we got some hate was that we still left a tip jar out. So, and I've always said that what most customers wouldn't know is that whenever we'd pull money out of that tip jar, it was sprayed down with Lysol or something like that. You know what I mean? So, because tips and that are such a huge part of what the service industry, how they're making their money, that I couldn't not pay.
You couldn't allow them.
I had some way to help them as much as I could too. Again, at that time, trying to do everything we could to get people to come to work. So.
Yeah.
I just want to get that off my chest because it's still some of the things that still bother me. Like I said, I still get hate over it. So
you did it out of love.
I did.
We did. We did
we
it
were just
to
doing
keep our
everything we
staff
could.
safe.
Staff, yeah.
We wanted them to stay safe and not, that interaction back.
But
and
now,
forth.
fast forward a couple years past that, how many stadiums or amusement parks or whatever, nobody takes cash, and
yeah,
I don't think they're
go
getting
to a
hate.
football or
I don't think
a
they're getting hate
basketball
over
game.
it.
So do you still not take cash?
No, we do.
You do take.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, everybody, for a while then when we did start it again, nobody can remember how to count for the life of them. Oh my gosh, figuring out a drawer was like
I try to avoid
horrible.
the cash register, to be honest.
Yeah, we keep you away from it.
I'll talk to people all day. I'll give drinks away, and I hate the
keep
cash
you away.
register.
Just stay in the back of the row.
Exactly.
Let
Yeah.
Michelle handle the front.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my part.
So have you had any special achievements or milestones that you've?
When's this going to air? When are you going to put this on?
A couple weeks.
Oh, perfect. So we are going to an awards dinner tonight for the repository, the Community Best of the Best Awards.
Oh, nice.
We will have won Best Local Coffee Shop 6 years in a row.
Oh my goodness!
So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Extremely proud moment. Our first year we opened our coffee shop, we were runner-up, and ever since then we've won. So and it's not because there aren't some also amazing local coffee shops. There are. I get irritated when it's not a local coffee shop. It's even in the
local
competition.
There's a lot of local coffee shops that are very small. I don't think they get the recognition that they deserve. So but so that we have one in 2020. We were Massillon's Business of the Year. At the time, Mayor Kathy awarded us that. We also won an award with
Score.
Yeah. So Score is their mentors, their retired mentors. There's a network of retired executives and sales professionals.
I forget what it stands for.
Yeah,
I know. I should
used to
remember
know
that
what it
too.
I'm trying to describe what it is. I can't remember the name of it, but basically they're there to mentor you through starting a
your
business
business. Okay.
in various parts of the business. Do you want sales, starting the business? How do you define what the business is? How do you sell the business? Like there's some
I
various
think they've
parts
had
of that.
meetings at the library.
It's possible.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
they're
chapter
a
at
pretty
Start
big
State.
chapter.
So we had helping us when we first started. We went there and Our mentor was a person who worked for the card company.
I can't remember.
American Greetings?
No, I don't think it was American Greetings.
I can't remember where Pat was. I know she was a CPA,
Yeah.
but
So
I
Pat
can't
Ripple
remember.
she was like the head of all of the accounting
Oh.
for, it might have been American Greetings.
I think
Might
that
have
was
been.
in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Right?
Might-
yeah.
She was a huge help.
So anyway, she was a huge help. At the time, we were having trouble trying to figure out the accounting part. Think about starting a business. If you had all the businesses we started in the past were, hey, I'm mowing somebody's grass, or I'm installing landscaping, or windows, or whatever things that we
little bit
were.
smaller scale,
Most of that
but-
stuff was just hey, I'm gonna do this for $100. You know what I mean? It was that kind of stuff, and it never really got to the point that we were now, where you have to really pay attention to bookkeeping and all that stuff. So we needed some help. Like, we were struggling, and you can only wear so many hats in the business.
True.
If you don't know what you're doing, and I'm deathly afraid of taxes because I did screw up one time. If any piece of advice I can give you starting a business, do not screw around with the taxes.
Get an accountant right
They're
away.
going to find it. You can't hide it.
You might not know you're screwing up, but you will.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but we won Business of the Year with them as well. So it happened to be through COVID, so there was no award ceremony and all that stuff. We did a Zoom call, which okay,
It was fun.
we still do a lot of those now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, though.
Yeah, so we slowly started winning a lot of stuff, and I guess I don't even really think about that stuff as success for the business until you asked, because we don't ever talk about that stuff, to be honest.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
but
we're-
when you start listing it, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
yeah, I really
Right.
You have
I think
some
we're
really
just
nice
so into the
recognition.
daily getting
Yeah.
things going on that we forget about the recognition, forget about the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recognition for me is when somebody leaves a review and says they loved our coffee. I mean, that's all I look forward to every day.
Yep. The social media site, it's right there for you to see all the time. That that really helps.
Yeah.
You can see where your business is going by watching how other people feel, what they've
Right.
posted, what they
Right.
say.
When I'm at Home Depot about 5 days a week, and when I go in there and I see somebody wearing my hat or a T-shirt or something, they don't even know who I am. And I'm like, wow,
But
they
they're
bought my
wearing
shirt.
a
You know what I mean?
Tremont Coffee shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
It's special to me. I mean, they might
Yeah.
not realize it, but it's special to me for sure.
Yeah, that means a lot. Well, my next question is, what's the most exciting current project you're working on? But I think it's your, secret new location. Plus your Lake Cable location that you're working on.
So, well, I don't know. There's a lot of exciting things. So we've been working on making Tremont Coffee a franchise for about 2 years.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Thousands of hours
I bet.
of sitting around with our managers, working on operations manuals, documenting the training. There's hundreds of pages of documentation. And we hired a consulting firm about 1.5 years ago called iFranchise Group. They're one of the most recognized franchising consultant firms in the world. So we hired them to come in, and we've had about 4 different consultants from that same company coming in and out for days on end for training or consultation or researching other companies. This is what they do. What are you going to do versus them? Like, what sets you apart? So last week we finalized all the paper, and we now can
Really?
officially sell a Tremont Coffee franchise. Yeah. So
Oh my goodness,
that's
that's
huge
exciting.
for me. Yeah.
It is very exciting. Yeah. That's been.
I mean, just the weight of trying to do something on that scale, to be honest.
That's huge.
And also run and grow what we've been doing, because it's not like our company's like at a standstill. I mean, our
No,
company's
we're
growing too. So
Right.
it's been like, I almost can't even believe
I know.
It's crazy to me. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah. We
Yeah.
haven't really. I think
I've
it's
never-
sinking in. Like, we're both just kind of like, we're not writing
both-
that anymore.
we're both-
We're not looking at this
We're
document
always
over and over
the next
again.
step. What's the next thing? We did it next. Did this next. Did this next. And I'm in a race against time, to be honest. How big can I grow Tremont Coffee, and what time frame that I can still enjoy some of my own personal life, to be honest, because right now I don't. I mean, there's absolutely no way there was 8 years, I think, till we took a vacation. I mean, that's that kind of life that we live. And even if we go on a vacation now, it's usually some sort of work-related thing
yeah.
that we do. Yeah. So
And if you didn't work together, you would never see each other.
you would
at
never
all.
Correct. We really
never,
wouldn't.
Never. Yeah. And I guess that's part of the thing that makes Tremont work for us, is because Michelle is now accepting of me working all those hours. When I work 2 jobs, And she's like, hey, what about me? And I understand
Well,
that.
yeah. And
Now
now we're
I
doing
can-
it together.
Yeah, I can work till 10 o'clock at night, and she understands what I was doing all day because she sees or is a part of what I was doing. Yeah, or she comes sits beside me while I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah,
Right.
so yeah.
We are definitely on our laptops and things
Oh, God,
a lot. I mean, if we're not in the store, we're both sitting somewhere.
Yeah,
Together,
bef-
separately working.
The moment I
Exactly.
close my eyes, I'm still ordering or
Yeah.
doing something on my phone. Like I'm laying in bed planning or doing something for Tremont. It never stops. The moment you wake up, you're like, okay, what is the fire we need to put out today? That's that's what we do. And in addition to the 35 things you already had on a list to take care of.
Yeah, just normal stuff.
And I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I mean, that's the life of a business owner. That's what you deal with.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the things that we have to go through. So
I have to say, it's definitely, though, our staff has done so well that it's, I don't want to say slowing down for us, but we can do things like this today now. We can be places because we have such great staff that understands, because we've given an idea of what we want. We've showed them, we've worked it with them. And,
and
now we can trust
given them
things
that
are running
responsibility.
smoothly.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of years where we could not walk away from the store.
Right.
I mean, it was sun up to sundown. We were there, and now, like Michelle said, that's absolutely truth. We trust, and we believe that who is there can run it just as well as we can.
Right.
Or we wouldn't be here. We would be there. So.
You'd have to phone it in.
Exactly. Exactly. As I'm making drinks behind
You hear this
Excuse me
breath-
while I have this large foaming sound in the
you hear
Exactly.
steaming milk going on at the same time. Yeah.
Really feel the experience on that call.
Yeah. Immersive.
There you go. That's what we do.
We could add some sound effects here.
Right. Yeah.
Great. I was going to say, you got it down. Go ahead.
There, go ahead. So, how do people find you if they're not familiar, which I can't imagine that, many people are not familiar, but how do they find you, and what about online and on social media?
So if you're in the North Canton location, I'll just give you it's 540 North Main Street in North Canton, not Massillon.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, but the
Harry.
big picture, how do
they find us?
Yeah.
In a coffee shop.
So
Follow your nose.
TremontCoffee.com is probably the easiest way to get a hold of us. You can order online. We now ship coffee all over I think we've almost shipped coffee to every state now.
Wow, cool.
So we tea, coffees, some of the flavor bases we have, like hot chocolate and vanilla chais, things like that, we ship. We don't really mess with T-shirts too much, that sort of thing, but that stuff's coming. But TremontCoffee.com, we have a Tremont 2, the number 2 Go, which is attached to that you can order ahead.
Oh, okay.
So you can order online and go pick up. We are in the middle of launching a brand new mobile app. So we have a mobile app now, but I really don't like it. So I don't really. We have like 50 people that are using it. So because I don't even talk about it. So we spent a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of time, and I don't like how it works. So we kind of just shelved it. But we're coming out with Square, the point of sale company for franchises. They have a new online version, a new app that we're working. So we're currently working on that right now. So there will be a new cool app you can download and all that stuff and get rewards and points and all that. But social media wise, everything is at Tremont Coffee. So if you use Instagram and Facebook, all that stuff, it's at Tremont Coffee.
Tremont Coffee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope to see you at Tremont Coffee sometime soon. I want to thank you both so much for coming in. You're really an inspiration, I think, for the community, for other business people, families, and just really nice to have you in town and on our podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
it's a
this was
pleasure.
fun.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Laura the Library Lady podcast. Be sure to check out the rest of the episodes on the Massillon Public Library's YouTube channel. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many other podcast platforms.